In a moment, I will count from 1 to 3. At the count of 3, you will emerge, fully awake, alert, remembering everything that just transpired. 1, slowly returning. 2, recall the situation in the room. 3, at a pace that is comfortable for you, slowly open your eyes and be filled with peace, love, and joy. Take a look at me. The fear is gone. The block is gone. You are able to move into your authentic self and do the work that you were meant to do, that you desire to do.
It wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't your fault. You were doing what you were taught to do.
Wasn't their fault either.
No, they didn't know any better.
No.
It's all about learning.
Thank you.
How was that?
Oh, it's incredible. It's always incredible when you're in the in-between.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
There's so much love there.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
would you like to tell our audience that?
when you're in between lives, there's this incredible love. And it surrounds you and it lifts doubts, worries. And it's as though 1,000 entities, their souls are wrapping you in the deepest unconditional love you've ever felt. It helps you feel who you really are. And it's so filled with grace and warmth and beauty.
Would you like to share with us how this session has helped you in your quest?
It took me to where I found my source of fear, and something I've fought my whole life with in this lifetime is that I tend to believe in other people over than what my heart has. And I've
Yes.
been learning that lesson, and I've been getting better about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But now I feel like I can follow it from grace, no excuses,
Yes.
no awestruck with, oh, I really felt that.
Always trust your intuition.
Yes. And first I had to listen. I had to learn to listen to the intuition, to be quiet. And now it's a real strong feeling within me, and I know not to ignore it. If I ignore it, I get a kick in the petard from our creator that says, But I think there'll be a lot less kicks now. I think that I feel there's a wholeness.
Yes.
There's a wholeness to me.
Mm-hmm.
And in that wholeness, I can deliver my messages in grace instead of, I had this happen.
Mm-hmm.
I can just say, and it will be heard.
How wonderful.
And when I say from grace, it will be heard.
How wonderful to come into your authentic self, into your space,
Right.
and to feel whole.
I was afraid of it being this powerful, overpowering to other people, but it doesn't have to be. It's the grace.
Yes, it doesn't have to
And
be.
that's the biggest awareness right now from grace.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you will do very well. People who cross your path will be very, very fortunate.
Thanks. Well, I'm fortunate to cross your path.
Thank you.
So how vivid were the visuals?
For me, very vivid. In the point of I was on actually feeling without the pain, but I was walking. I think the thing I still felt was the agony of causing pain. That I felt in my soul. It was still there, and it really needed to be cleansed for me to move on. So I think that's why I saw it, is because it was there. It needed to be released. The other thing I felt there was very beautiful.
What was the temple like?
Stone. And the steps I climbed, there was some rock, and then, but it was almost like it was a, you know how you climb up and then there's a place to look out over a room, and that's what I was doing, was climbing up to the top spot. It's as though that's where I could best, nothing in my way to climbing to the top. I cannot tell you with the exact structure. It's the feeling of rock, not the color, the feeling of the solidness, but also the feeling of going in the council, being one of, that was the first time I had awareness that I was one of many, and that there was the elders here, and that, you know, we were here. But feeling that sisterhood, and it felt very much like I had been an orphan, was taken in, or that was my destiny in that life or whatever, but I had felt no sense of family.
Yes, you had indicated that your family had gone before you.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that made sense with that.
You may have, it's possible that you were orphaned in that lifetime.
Yeah. But it was as though it was meant to be, and that's, I felt very much that where I was I was comfortable with, other than not being able to speak up, but that it was a place of honor.
Yes. Yes, if you were a priestess, it was a place of honor.
Right. It's like you're working your way up. For me, hypnotherapy means healing, and deep healing. 25 years ago, I had my first experience with hypnotherapy. Our counselor took me back to a prior life where I was betrayed by an entity in that life, who was the entity who betrayed me in this life. I decided I didn't want to have that lesson anymore, and from that point I was able to forgive the entity that betrayed me horrifically in this life and move on, also forgive myself. Forward 25 years later, I have my next two experiences, and I was having an issue with clutter, and no matter what I did, I seemed to, no matter how much I straightened up, it came back. So I realized it was an issue much deeper than what I was going, that I needed to touch into something, maybe even from another life or somewhere deep in me that was hidden. My first session, going in for clutter, we found out that I still had some issues, much to her wonderful intuition, that I still had some few grief issues left with the loss of my mother 4 years ago. We cleared those up, and it allowed me to do things and open up and move on much beyond that, and understand that the guilt feelings I had, feeling that my grandmother was around instead of my mother, to realize that that is who's around and who is my nurturer. And now I can lovingly embrace it. That just released. And I was almost in tears, and I left the office, and going home I had a tremendous anger that was released, and I really felt all this energy moving out of my body, proclaiming it was that the clutter was not mine. It moved out, and now I'm just wonderfully have someone helping me we're moving along, but the freedom within me, and it permeates to other areas in my life. I will use hypnotherapy again, possibly to find my next step and path where I'm going with healing. But now it's amazing because it permeates to my whole family around me. And I'm very grateful for the experience with hypnotherapy. It moves me in the right direction. Each time in my life I've used it, it's been not just a small healing, they've been large. And so I'm deeply grateful for hypnotherapy.
Well, that